permission. I need permission from you.
All right. Well, we're going to have to do that later because we're already live. So good morning, everyone, and welcome to Wow Wednesday. I am your host, Nancy Matthews, one of the founders of Women's Prosperity Network, along with my two sisters, Trish Carr and Susan Winner. And today is a very, very special day. It is special for a variety of reasons, but number one is today is International Women's Day. And this is an opportunity for all women to come together. And the theme this year is about embracing equity, which means having more of our sisters come up from all different stages and cultures and backgrounds and careers and all of that. We must embrace equity for all. So join us in this. Go ahead, share this feed, share all the good stuff about International Women's Day and use the hashtag IWD 2023 as well as Embrace Equity. Let's get in the conversation and support all women embracing equity for themselves and for each other. And in celebration, not only do we have Dr. Donna Blevins with us today, but also this afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern, we are hosting a Spotlight on Leaders, Wisdom Share, and Networking Extravaganza, bringing our community together, as well as inviting new people into our community. So you can get all the information on that at our website, womensprosperityNetwork.com, and simply click over to the events tab and you'll see all the great stuff that we've got happening today. And oh my goodness, the woman that you are about to meet is a powerhouse in so many ways. Dr. Donna Blevins is with us today. And Zig Ziglar, the legendary Zig Ziglar, once said about Donna, Donna Blevins is someone we can all look up to, both professionally and physically. As an international professional poker player and a 6'5" powerhouse, Donna Blevins candidly shares her intimate story of turning losses into wins by accessing the wisdom within her mistakes. She is a MindShift coach, best-selling author, and world-class speaker who uses her authentic voice to take the woo-woo out of mind shifting and guide people to up their game in 7 seconds. I love it. I love it. Welcome, Dr. Donna. And today we're going to be diving into the conversation about the 4 keys to harnessing the power of your biological supercomputer. I'm so curious about that. So welcome, Donna.
Thank you so much. Hey, I don't think I need to even go on after you did that. That was fantastic. We're done.
No, they want to know the 4 keys and what is a biological supercomputer.
We were born with a biological supercomputer. It is our brain. Our brain, and combined with our mind, is more powerful than supercomputers. Literally, we have it. It is in our body. It's got 2 legs. And it's interesting because the first key, and these, you're going to go, but this is all really simple. But I think they're secret keys because we try to complicate things. Have you ever complicated anything, Nancy?
Everything. So there's something that goes on where we think we have to make everything so complicated and hard so we can triumph over it, but it's not.
Yeah, the key to the first one is we have upwards of 70,000 thoughts a day. And only about 20% of those, a little under 20, are original thoughts. Now, I have no idea how they come up with those statistics. I mean, I have no idea. It's like put a monitor inside my brain. But think about that. The repetition of the thoughts that we have, that's what sends us off into, oh gosh, it's like, okay, have you ever placed an order before Amazon Prime? Have you ever placed an order online and it didn't come, and you went back and you thought, and you said, I'll just place another order? Did you ever do that?
Yep, I've done that.
Yeah, today with Amazon Prime, if you haven't do that, it comes the next day, so we're pretty tolerant of that.
Or you push the button on Amazon and your doorbell rings. That's the scary stuff. But anyway.
So the whole first key is to figure out what that chatty you is saying inside your mind. It is our mind talk. It is our self-talk. Our self-talk is the underlying key to everything that we do. If we focus on abundance and we own it, what happens? We see it coming in. If we focus on the things that are bothering us, guess what? If we have pain and we talk about the pain and we think about the pain, guess what? We get more pain. It has to do with the self-talk. But the first key is listening. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, and this is what we need to do twice as much. And it's the listening. The whole process of the 4 keys is to turn your inner critic into your out loud cheerleader.
I love that. Turn your inner critic into your out loud cheerleader. And a question, how does this relate to playing poker? We got to have a poker face, even if you have a crappy hand, right? So how did this all come about for you and you apply it in professional poker playing?
I've been using this process in sales and poker in dating when I was scary to date. Guys thought I was scary to date. Anyway, my husband said anybody can date a short woman. So
it's a real man to date a 6'5" woman. I love that.
That's right. And he's 5'3", and he's one of the men I look up to. He has a huge heart. Mm-hmm. So does it work in poker? Absolutely, because it's profiling. It's listening and watching and getting into that place of complete, total awareness without being attached to what the outcome will be. Mm-hmm. It's listening. It's listening to yourself, but it's listening and watching. It has to do with profiling. And yes, the first key is listening. It's heightening the awareness. Mm-hmm. But the key is to listen, especially to the self-talk. It's profound. It's something that we have we go so fast, we fail because we don't listen. Mm. We go off onto this detour and that detour. Well, I think I'll do that. Oh, that sounds good. Well, I'll do that. And look, I am so guilty of that myself. And oddly enough, I'm 10 years old this year, by the way, because my massive left brain stroke was in 2013. Mm. And that was one of the inspirations that taught me the first key was listen. I'd been doing it every now and then, but I hadn't really anchored it because it had to do with, okay, I couldn't speak, but I better listen. And all of a sudden what happened was my ability to hear. When you lose a sense like have a stroke, other senses are oftentimes amplified, and my ability to hear and listen was amplified. And it taught me that was the thing that I needed to do first off. So listen is the first key.
Wow, powerful. And tell a little bit of the story about this 10 years ago when you couldn't speak.
I was sitting at this desk. I had on my big screen above me, I had a MindShift exercise up there. I stood up and it was like I was getting ready to publish the book MindShift on Demand. And I looked up at this and I said, I don't know if anybody will ever is it good enough? Listen to that. Is it good enough? I was doubting myself and I stood up and I was like a brat, a kid. I stomped my foot. I literally had my hands on my hips. You know how you do, you stand there and have defiance. And I said, this is just a test. I'm not wanting this now. I want something that proves my MindShift exercises work. And I stomped my foot. That's only a repeat. And a few minutes later, this lightning struck in my head. And it was this massive center left brain stroke that muted me completely, except for 2 words. I could say, Donna and crap. And when I hit the floor, the first thing I thought was, be careful what you ask for.
Wow. Which goes back to listening to that self-talk, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, the first key to really harnessing this power we have within us so that we can create the lives we want, enjoy abundance and health and all those other things. Like, be really, really aware and listening for your voice.
Yes, and in relationship, you brought up the poker. It was, I oftentimes use this process, and I had been using this process as a coach with other people. I hadn't been using it with myself. And a poker player, I was on a poker radio show years ago, and excuse me, and I just tap my nose here just a little bit. So it was, I said, I will do some extemporaneous coaching on air, a radio show, a live radio show, but I will coach 3 people that I do not know. Each one of them had 15 minutes, and bring somebody on that's not a professional poker player, nobody that I would know, nobody that me. And this one man came on, and I said, tell me what you desire. And he said, next week, I'm going to Atlantic City for my next bad beat. I said, excuse me? He said, next week, I'm going to Atlantic City and play in the World Poker Tour for my next bad beat. Bad beat in poker means you have a really great hand and you're beaten, and it's like there's nobody come out of it. And I said, wait a minute. Do you know what you just said? Well, yeah, I'm going for my next bad beat. Well, that's manifestation on steroids. And so I asked him the next key, which was, what is your intention? Is to intend it. And he said, I don't even know what an intention is. By the way, he was a Wall Street guy in New York City, and he was wealthy. So I'm going, please come to my table. And and he said, I don't know what an intention is. And I explained to him how you can intend to do something, but you want to be very clear about it. And so we worked on his intention, and we went to the next key, which was to reframe it, and created I call them why questions, a well-crafted why question. So the second key is to intend it, but you have to be clear about your intention. Without a clear intention, you have no goals. All you have, it's like your life is coming out of a shotgun. It's like all these different areas. And that be very clear of a clarity about the intention, and then to reframe it by using well-crafted why questions. And you hear people talk about doing affirmations. Standard affirmations, forgive me, do not work if we are in that place of lack. Mm-hmm. If someone is broke and they say, I am wealthy, there's their conscious mind, that 10% of their mind says, bullshit, you're not wealthy, you're broke. Don't be an idiot, you're broke.
Who are you trying to kid?
That's exactly right. So our conscious mind fights back at us, and we go, oh, okay, I'll listen. So it's an important thing to know, to do what I call well-crafted why questions. It has to do with asking the why question in a way that's clear. Why is it so wonderful to win next week in Atlantic City? Why is it great to play my best game? Really clear, short questions that reframes what you really want. And that's what,
as I'm listening to you, it's on the positive side. So instead of asking, this would not be well crafted, why do I always have a bad beat when I go to Atlantic City? Like, that's not the kind of questions we want to ask.
Yeah, that one actually anchors the bad beat.
Correct.
The belief. What we're doing is we're changing our underlying belief system in our subconscious mind, because our belief is what propels us forward. It's our jet fuel.
So,
and yeah, Go ahead.
Well, let's say, because not everybody here is poker players. I know I'm not, and I'm going to anchor in. I'm a crappy poker player.
Oh, no, you have yet to learn. By the way, I've got to say this. I'm going to interrupt. Please keep your thought. But the thing of it is that I would much rather work with people who know nothing about poker and start with the virgin mind in relationship to poker than to take someone that thinks they're really good and they're crappy and have to reframe. And it's like teaching an old dog new tricks.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
I totally get it. And I do like poker and I understand it and everything. So we'll see. Maybe we'll talk about that. But
Okay.
I wanted to apply these 4 keys to an aspect that I see happening a lot for entrepreneurs, and it has to do with sales, which you referenced. This is good for sales. So notice yourself. Oh, I don't want to make any follow-up phone calls. I don't want to bother anybody. Why nobody wants to buy from me? Oh, I hate making cold calls. Like that's a lot of the conversation I see happening for people. And when I hear I'm struggling, I need money, and I'm like, well, you have a business. The logical step is to sell something. But there's this block between those two.
Absolutely. Yes, it's important to earn the sale. I've always gotten to the point of earning a sale rather than closing a sale. And when you get to that place of valuing what you do and people want more of that, it's almost like a head slap and people go, hey, I want it. And you go, oh, crap, I do have something good. So it's important to be to that place of figuring out what it is. Identify the things that you don't think you're good at and reframe them. But it's important to reframe one at a time. This is not a wholesale action step. That's one of the reasons why I'm going to be doing a free masterclass on expanding these, because we talk about the 4 keys to harnessing the biological supercomputer. And when I was putting up the registration page, I went, oh man, wait a minute. That's too complicated. So it's the 4 secret keys to controlling your mind, because it is our body is our vehicle. Our mind is the driver. When we are able to activate all 4 of the keys, and the 4 keys, by the 4th key is speak it. Someone said, I'm leaving. Please tell me what the 4th key is. It's to speak it. Speak it. When we're able to activate all those 4 keys, we're in a different place of prosperity. You like the word prosperity, don't you?
I do. It's in my business name. All right. So what do I do? I need more clients. I want more clients. I'm, struggling with all of that stuff. How do I use these 4 keys and create that mind shift in 7 seconds?
Okay, first of all, you have to identify what is, okay, what I have people do on a longer program is to spend a week writing down the words that they say with acceptance and love. And you have to write it down. I thought for many years that you just have to think good thoughts. It doesn't work that way. You have to identify the negative in order to be able to heal it. Have you ever felt you have a problem physically and you go to a doctor and they throw pills at you? It's like they're identifying the symptoms. And the whole key to listening to the words that you say is to find out what those words are. So, take a little while and just write down the words that you say. And the one that seems to come up the most is, I don't like to make a cold call. I am really bad at making a cold call. It's the cold call thing. So why is it so easy to make a cold call? Why do people love me when I call them?
Well, what if that feels like a lie? You know what I mean? Because if you don't believe that, then it could feel like I'm lying to myself.
You can craft it until you feel comfortable with the word choices. And it has to do with acceptance and saying, can I really? Just okay. Just let it flow. And you can get into the flow state of allowing that to be. And then, is that what I want? the intention key. Do I want to call? Well, I don't really want to call, but I want people to be happy when I call. And I think one of the things, and I have one of my clients been working with this one particularly, and I wish I'd checked her notes because whatever she had finally crafted began to work. And it has to do with that what feels good to you. If you're sitting there in the chair, comfortable, and you say, and you say a term, and you say, is this the proper term? Your body might slightly lean forward, which becomes a yes. If it goes back, it's kind of like your body's saying no. So it's listening to your body on multiple levels. It's just not the words, but it's how your body feels. So the listening key is profound. It is huge on multiple levels. You want to listen to if you call and someone cold call and someone responds negatively to you, you want to listen to that. And oftentimes when I used to do cold calls a lot and someone would lash back at me, I would say, I'm sorry if I offended you. Can you please tell me what I might have done differently? And they go, oh, and I need a little help here. And it's interesting because you can get into a conversation because that was basically where I was. And today, if I get on a call with anyone and there is any sort of backlash or pullback, I've heard it. I intend to be in that place of comfort with them. I'm going to reframe it on the spot and I'm going to speak something else. You can actually learn the keys and you can do them like that when you've trained your mind to do them, when you've trained your mind to put that key in and turn it. So it's a case of practice. It's repetition. Is it always going to work? I would like to think so, but nothing always works. Even in poker, people say, is it luck that gets you there? Skill is about 70% of the game. 30% is luck. To me, that kind of sounds like life, don't you think?
It does sound like life. And one of the quotes I love from Abraham Lincoln is about luck is when preparation meets opportunity.
That's exactly right. Because, it takes in relationship to studying anything, it takes 10,000 hours of study to become an expert in that thing. And that's one of the reasons why I really talk about setting that intention, because rather than being that having a shotgun mind, the focused target is so important in our life. It's important in relationships. It's important in our business. It's important with our pets. They're not my pets. They're my children.
Yes.
They are. They're my fur babies, my 3 fur babies. And I counted them up this last week, and we have rescued 16 over our life together. So we're on our 3.
That's beautiful. Beautiful. I want to, so thank you. This has been so rich. And I want to anchor back to when you wanted proof that mind shifting works and what happened, because we're going to finish that story.
Sure. So I couldn't talk, but I was able to get up. I could physically move, but we're cross-wired. And when a stroke was in this left part of my brain, my right side was weird. I couldn't tie my shoes. It was hard to get my shoes on, but I got my shoes on. I went into the kitchen because my mother and husband, thank the Lord, had said, please get up from your computer and come have a meal with us. And we're going to go someplace and have a meal. I am so blessed, because if they had left and I was sitting here without taking that break with them, I would not be able to speak today, because there is that point, there is a timeline after you have a serious stroke when they can actually inject they call it a blockbuster, long words, and to actually dissolve that. And I was able to get into the kitchen, and my husband looked at me. He knew something was wrong. And what happened is I started getting tunnel vision because this right eye started going blind at the same time. They got me to the hospital. They airlifted me to the University of Florida Teaching Hospital. And all along the way, they're saying she will never speak fluidly again. It'll take her 8 to 9 months before she can talk. And I am observing. I actually did
hear everything, right?
That's exactly right. My ability to hear was heightened. People would be whispering and I heard everything. And I have this internal remote control. When they'd say something, I'd go cancel, delete. Literally, I have this internal, they say something and I'm going, I'm not buying it. I didn't say I'm not buying into that. I just say delete. And literally, I went through that process and I stepped into my signature MindShift exercise. I did it about 100 times in 3 days. And Halloween, it was Halloween 2013, by the way. And Halloween was Thursday. And on Sunday, I went in, I felt like I could speak. So I pressed my button. They came in, they just stand at the door and they go. And I said, my name is Donna Blevins. What do you think has been happening with me? I would like to share it from my standpoint.
Wow.
And this nurse stood there, her eyes, she looked like a deer in headlights, and she ran away. And I thought, oh God, did I say that wrong?
You shocked her.
And over that day, there were about 150 people came to see me, and the teams are of 15, 20, so about 10 teams came. And they would come and, of course, ask to come in. And there was this one little tiny guy. He was a new intern, must have been 4'12", teensy tiny guy, couldn't weigh much more than 100 pounds. And he stood in the doorway and he's going, I said, do you stutter? He said, no, ma'am. I said, would you like to come in? And he said, please. So I said, come on in. So it was a wonderful experience because I think that was the big anchor point. It was that place at which I had 3 days where I couldn't talk with anybody. So I had this wonderful conversation with myself inside my head. And I basically worked with these 4 because I'm actually looking at it. I have a graphic that I'll give in everyone. That's a beautiful graphic with the 4 keys because I actually put it into an 8.5 by 11 sheet. So you can print it out and put it on your wall. Because we are visually, yeah. And anyone who comes to the free masterclass, I'll be able to give them that downloadable so they can have that to help remember it. Awesome. Mary Jane said, this is a movie. Ooh, thank you.
It is. It totally is. Her whole life is a movie. We're just doing a small slice of it.
Yeah, one of these days, I almost thought I would tell you what happened 45 years ago, but I don't know that I'm there to be able to disclose that publicly, but I will one day soon.
When the time is right. This is a safe place to be honored for everything that you've achieved. And experienced and turned into lessons. So I thank you for your guts, your heart, and your beautiful, beautiful mind, my friend.
And we all have, I just want you and anyone who is hearing this know that, first of all, I'm speaking directly with you. Whether this is live or on a recording, I want you to know that my words are for you because you are perfect just the way you are. We are at any place in time because we have gotten ourselves there. We've experienced life is out of our control, but we can grow and evolve. And wherever you are, embrace the beauty within yourself, regardless of what we have. Such a self-judgment is off the chart. And I want to tell you that my whole intention is to take you to that place of a place that's judgment-free, guilt-free, shame-free, and wine-free. Because
that's with the H, right?
What's that?
How are you spelling wine?
Wine, W-H-I-N-E.
Just plain.
Yeah, no, that's fine. No, it is the wine-free because that whining is what we're going to listen to. And Nancy, have you ever had a friend that you loved, but you just couldn't be with them anymore because they whined about what was going on and all they did was always whine? Have you ever just said, I just can't be around that person?
I have.
And it's really tough to release that it's kind of like it's almost like people's energetically have Velcro that hooks to us.
Right. We're these magnets, right? If we talk about the law of attraction, very true.
That's right.
So great comments for you. Make sure you go back and check that out. I'll send you the chat as well, my friend. And we want to get to that place where we open up for question and answer. And while I get that happening, I see that there's a little bit of a blip with the link. So I'm going to switch it up here and make sure everybody's taken care of. So Donna, please share.
Yes.
Share the details on this upcoming masterclass, and I'll take care of the link for you.
What I wanted to do was to expand quickly. I want to make it a very short masterclass. I want to make it an hour. Pray to God that I'm going to make this only an hour. If there is one albatross that I have, is that I give too much. And what I've learned is that I learn better when things are simplified. That's why one of my coaching clients call me the chief simplifier. Yay! And so that's what I intend to do is to take something that, look, this has taken me 6 decades to really clarify it. And now I've gone into the process of simplifying it. It's to work on each one of the keys so that you're saying, like, if you do that, listen, and then you're going to reframe it and you're going, well, I think that's a lie. It's how to get past that.
Right.
And it's a process, but I want to promise you, it is simple. You just have to do it. And you have to turn on your listener. You have to turn that key so that you listen, because we spend the vast majority of our life chatting away inside, chatty Cathy inside of ourselves, just going da, 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 without hearing what we say.
Chatty Cathy, Judge Judy, Bitch and Barbie. I mean, like, they're all in it, right? And we got some names for the men too, so it's not just women. And
international. This is want to say this is in honor of this being International Women's Day. I've had this for 40 years or so, and yes, it looks like it's wood. It's actually plastic. This is when they first made these in plastic, and I absolutely love it. I've cherished this for so many years because it's this woman with hair blown back and
gorgeous. It's gorgeous. All right. So Donna is inviting you to join her for an expansion of today's conversation to set yourself free and get that mind shift on demand with the 4 keys. So simply go to, I'm going to give you the link. Is that my telephone or somebody else's? Go to MindShiftOnDemand.com/4. So 4 keys -free. So I'll say it again, nice and slow. MindShiftOnDemand.com/4 keys -free. And it's the number 4. So I've put the link in the chat, but I know we have several people with us on the phone today. So I just want to make sure you've got that. And let's go ahead and take some questions, my friend. Are you ready?
By the way, Nancy, the bit.ly shortened key, I just tested it and it did work. bit.ly/4 secret keys. Doesn't matter.
Let's keep the one, because your long one is not difficult to remember. So I'd rather
disregard that last. You want to say it? You want to say it again, please?
I do. MindShiftOnDemand.com/4, the number 4 keys, KEYS -free. So MindShiftOnDemand.com/4 keys -free. And let's go ahead and open for our first caller, Miss Betsy Rossum.
Hi, thank you so much, Donna. I love these yummy conversations. So totally appreciate this step process. I've been doing this kind of mindset shift for probably about 20 years, and it's changed my life. I don't think a lot of people understand the value and the importance of choosing our words, and how important they are. You know, you mentioned turn on my listener. I think I've become an observer of my own life. You know, everything that happens to me happens for me, and I watch. And if I feel that yucky feeling, it's like, okay, what's this about? A really good example of words and how strong they are and powerful are. Ray had an aunt, and she must have said 20, 30 times a day, my legs are killing me. Guess what she died of?
Yep.
Yes. Her daughter's doing the same thing and has blood clots in her legs. And every time I look, and you know, this is an example, cancel, because I don't believe that.
So let me just hop on that just because you said something that triggered something I wanted to share with you. Because the words we choose set ourselves up for either success or failure. And it's a case of choosing wisely. So it's the words you choose set you up for either success or failure, because that's all we have to work with is our word choice.
Beautiful.
Well, thank you for sharing that story, because that's really important for people to understand that when we magnify a dis-ease, we are out of ease.
And I don't say I have this. I say, you know what? I've been given a diagnosis.
Right.
You know, that's it, because it's not about me. It's something out there that somebody else has said, and I have the choice as to take it in or just to take care of myself. You know, do what I need to do to take care of myself.
Oh, we could go on this conversation forever, because you also reminded me of something else, which is the whole intention in your life is to be the detached observer. And to be the attached observer is the place of empowerment. It is absolutely the place where we can expand, where we can grow, and we can be an attached observer whether we make a horrible mistake or a wonderful win. It's to be a detached observer. Now, granted, you need to then look at each one of them, reframe them, analyze them, but don't make it your life's work. Just a little thing at a time. And I said, it's not wholesale. It's not like, oh, I'm going to fix everything at once. Just one little thing at a time.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you, Betsy.
Thank you.
Love you bunches. Appreciate your input and all you do. And what I love that you shared, Betsy and Donna amplified that this is a practice. It's a way of being. Olivia said in the chat, death and life are in the power of the tongue. Yes, they are. Thank you, Olivia, for that.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right, let's go to our next caller. Phone number 865-661. Good morning. Your line is open.
Good morning. Thank you so much for taking my question, and thank you for this presentation. It's been really, really good. Matter of fact, I've been reading a book recently. I've been doing a book study with some friends. The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer.
Oh, yes, love it.
Yeah, it's so much about this observer of self. You know, I really like that. Would you please clarify what key 3 was? I've got 1, 2, and 4, but I wasn't sure. I wrote all this well-crafted why questions under intention, but was that actually the third key?
Actually, the well-crafted why questions is the reframing it. That is the key. The reframe is the third key.
Okay.
So it's key 1 is listen. Key 2 is intended. Key 3 is reframe it. And key 4 is to speak it.
Gotcha. Okay.
So they all the why
much.
questions, it flows through the whole thing. And what is your name?
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Sue Wickstrom.
Hello, Sue.
No.
Good to have you on. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining us today. And hopefully you'll be able to join for the master class that Donna's doing to expand this, because it is an ongoing practice and commitment to ourselves to create that life that we really want and notice. So it starts with saying yes. Thank you, Donna, for doing the master class and getting ourselves there. So be sure to register at mindshiftonDemand.com/4keys-free. So that's mindshiftonDemand.com/4 keys -free. So go ahead, get yourself registered. What are the dates of that? I don't think we talked about that.
We didn't, and I'm going to look at my calendar over here. So doing it on Friday the 24th at 11 a.m. I'm doing it twice, and it's intended to be the same masterclass, but it's always different. It always evolves, whoever's there. So it'll be 11 a.m. Eastern on Friday the 24th of March, and then on Thursday the 30th, I decided to do one at 7 p.m. Eastern for the people that have other requirements where they're not able to come during the day. That's why I wanted to give it twice, because look, repetition is the mother of retention. And that is one of the most important things, is that it's repeating it over and over. And I get better when I do it more, and you'll get better when you practice more, because I do this every single day. I do these 4 keys. These 4 keys are the basis of my life, because if I'm off onto a tangent and I go, uh-oh, where am I? And I'm going, where are my keys? Where did I put my keys?
I love it. Very good. All right. Mary Jane, your line is open.
Thank you, Dr. Donna. This was fabulous, and I'm taking notes. But first point, I had to let a very old dear friend go. We knew each other inside and out, little girls together, all of this. She didn't get where I was going, why I was going, etc. And I kindly but definitely have parted. There was an answer for everything. And I thought, no, you're not getting it. So it's very hard to do that. And it broke my heart, but I don't have to answer to her anymore, which was where I was coming from. And I couldn't allow that to remain. So that's a tough call, when you say not so much goodbye, but you make that mind shift that there's just so much you can tell an old friend. But second to that, and more importantly, I think, is the being the detached observer. Now that I am on the verge of my 72nd birthday, I can say I had this lot in life before I ever knew what was going on. I'm the youngest of 5. Everybody was 17, 15, 11, and 7 years older than I. So my sisters were married. My nieces and nephews were, 5, 10 years younger. And I was like in left field. I was always the one in the back seat with my parents going someplace. But to watch this crazy, lovingly, but nuts group of people and to sit there and don't say anything, I became the observer. And I can see that, how it is affected, but I'm pretty good at it. And I can turn it into a funny story quickly. But I was able to, I think, digest my late husband's default, and he died suddenly. And I was able to tell that whole story in several of my presentations. But the first time that Nancy or Trish, I don't know which one, said, no, tell the whole story, because I was still dancing around what I felt was the more painful, but not for me. I didn't want to shock anybody. But the first time I said it, it was after many rehearsals. Boy, was that a load off my shoulders. And I can speak it freely and say it in different tones of voice, depending on my audience today. So it is a magical place to be, actually, the detached observer.
Right. But, and, to Donna's point, it takes practice, right?
Absolutely.
And good. Thank you so much, Mary Jane, for sharing. And sometimes letting people go is not easy.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you stepped into what you needed to do for you. Donna.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think the key in relationship to being that detached observer is to really be it's one who does observe in a place of full acceptance. And that's a tough place to be in, but it's one that is so rewarding.
Yeah, beautiful.
And you learn patience and you learn timing. I mean, it was my growing years. So when I piped up with a really good idea to this day, and you're looked upon like the midget in the corner, be quiet.
I'm happy to see that you've overcome that to a large degree, if not completely, because we love your ideas. So
thank you,
Mary Jane. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right. Beautiful. Thank you, Mary Jane. And kudos to everyone stepping up to register for the class with Donna. Go to mindshiftonDemand.com/4keys-free. Let's open up for our next caller. We have a few more minutes. Olivia Jones.
Good morning. I have a quick question. Donna, you said our body is our vehicle and our mind is I've been taking copious notes.
I loved that line too. I'm so glad that the driver.
Yeah, it's the driver, and the whole thing about getting all the keys in the proper order is that we become the active conscious driver rather than remain an unwitting passenger in our life.
Ooh, good one.
I love it. I just feel like a deep connection. There's so many things that I feel like I'm at a place where I'm ready to create, because I've been really tuning into the self-talk, and there's an aphorism that is like become my mantra, which is your inner reality creates your outer form. And I've been telling myself that over and over and over again. And I feel like the keys that you have listed and given will give me the ability to unlock a lot of the doors and a lot of the beliefs that I have, that I get to them, I overcome them, then I go back, but really definitely pushing my way through. So thank you.
Sure. And one thing that I really like to reinforce with that is that our life, our growth, it's just, okay, we're there. It's like looking at the life cycles. It's an up and down because we're evolutionary beings. Mm-hmm. And there is actually a man who wrote a book about the mental game of poker, and he talks about the inchworm. You take 2 inches forward and 1 inch back, 2 inches forward and 1 inch back, because it's a process of processing. One of the things that's important is that we learn something and we need to really anchor it, but we also need to get on with it, because sometimes we get stuck thinking it has to be so perfect. And I want everyone to be happy about the fact that I finally said, I'm putting up a really simple registration page. Nancy, I'll get it up. And I'm proud of myself because I got it up yesterday afternoon.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
It's fun. And I finally said, stop making it complicated, girl. This is what you share with other people. Can you listen to what you say?
So good. So good. Thank you, Olivia, for your beautiful spirit, your contributions in the chat today, and for being with us as always. So we appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Nancy, can I ask you a question, please?
Sure. And then we have one more caller we should be able to finish.
Okay. What is your biggest takeaway from what I've shared today?
Ooh, that's a good one. My biggest takeaway was a reminder to really notice what my thoughts are. And I'm very good at it, and I could get even better at it, because our thoughts do project our words and our power. And so it was just presencing me to that again today.
Thank you. That's what my stroke did. It was
Yeah.
almost like the universal divine said, "Hey, you've not been listening."
Right, 2x4. The proverbial. Good. All right, let's take one more caller, and that is Dr. Roz. Bring it, girl.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
We can.
Hey,
Okay.
Roz.
Hey, honey, I am in live meeting mode, but I stepped out. But then some of were ear hustling. But I want to say you are loved, appreciated, celebrated, valued, and most cherished. And I want to say this, that my driver, the brain, has been driving Miss Daisy, the body. So I need the body to get in the front seat with the brain. But the reframe it part is what's good. Mary Jane said something about a friend she had to let go. And I had a fresh update just this week about a friend that I don't want to let go, but the emotions and feelings are real. But how do we stay in those 4 keys as we work or have a love boxing match of clarity and learning each other? When we hold things in and don't say it, it gets misconstrued. You know what I'm saying? But Mary Jane, thank you for that. And I want to tell Olivia, Nancy, you don't know, but Olivia, it's time for us to do a wow care call on one of our WPN sisters. I've just been doing the real estate thing, but Donna, Dr. Donna, driving results, Donna. I just want to say I love you, because when I first came into WPN, I would say I would have had those 4 tips and didn't know that you already had earned them, because you helped me so much when I first joined in I think it was 2018, 2019, when I was going through with my dad. So whether it be a stroke or dealing with being a care provider or anything, these tips are paramount. And as a man thinketh, so is he. That's what we got to do. And we thank WPN, the trio sisters, for all of their love and what they do. So, Dr. Donna, driving results, Donna B, I love you. And y'all have a God amazing day. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Roz. Oh, I'm just reveling in that. That was such a wonderful place to be. Thank you for that. And it's always good to hear people say that, yeah, that really helped. And it was, looking back, I have been a mind shift coach all my life. I just didn't have a term for it. And I've been a coach because I really see the brilliance in other people. And one of the things when I created my course creation simplified course, it had to do with getting the brilliance out of your brain and into your bank account.
I love that.
My God today. My God today.
And I really want everyone to know that by using the 4 keys, you have a higher probability of increasing your bank account, because you're going to be going through the process of healing. It has to do with everything we do injures, and it also helps. But we focus too much on our injuries. I'm not talking about physical injuries. Some of them certainly play into that, but I'm talking about these emotional, spiritual, mental injuries that we have. And it's important to do that. And the in relationship to the key, the first key, I'll give you a little secret. One of the things that I talk about in the masterclass has to do, the prime way to listen is to journal. And it's to journal. See what I have in my hand? A pen, a piece of paper.
Here it is. I do it all the time. I can get it. Yep.
I mean, it's important.
I love it.
You want to get away from the electronics. Put this down.
I love it. I love it.
We have been drawn into our computer. I mean, I never thought that mature people would be doing this 10 years ago. And I would take Mother into when Mother had her life graduation last year at 96, I would take her in to see the doctor, and there would be the geriatrics, they call them, right? Every single one of them was in their phone. It didn't matter how. So I want you to turn now. Right now, you're listening on the phone or your computer.
Okay.
Thank you very much for doing that. Right, that's right. But I want you to turn it off more, because you need just thought you need the paper time. The other paper times when you go to the bathroom. No. Sorry. I enjoy myself. So it's the paper time. This journaling process is, I mean, when we did the renovation of the house, I put every single thing in the house. Everything went in a box. Everything in a closet. Can you imagine how much fun that would be to get everything out of your house? And I found boxes and boxes and boxes of journals. So I'm going to go back through them and, bless them, read a few of them, and I'm going to burn them and thank them for being with me, because there's no reason to carry them on with me.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
Have a big bonfire.
Yep. Me too. Mine will outpace yours, because this is March. Next month, I will be 74. Do I act like I'm 74?
No.
As a matter of fact, when I hit 70, I actually bought a domain name. It's not up, but I had to do it. It's called 70thenewsexy.com. One of these days, I'll get that one up.
It's so fun. Oh, my friend, thank you so much for being with us, gifting us with your wisdom, your humor, and all the ways that we can tap into harnessing our biological supercomputer with MindShift On Demand and those 4 keys. So thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. To all of our listeners out there, thank you for joining us. Be sure to stick around in the wonderful world of Women's Prosperity Network. Join us later today, 4 p.m. Eastern, for the Spotlight on Leaders, Wisdom Share, and Networking Extravaganza. Celebrate International Women's Day with women that you love and care about, and with some strangers too, as we embrace equity and have those strangers become friends and colleagues. Get out there, my friends, be the one, and enjoy this wonderful day of celebration. Thank you again, Donna. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Have a wow Wednesday. Bye now.
It was my honor. Take care.